Welcome to my platform. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your location or anytime you are meeting this video on YouTube. And if you like what I do here, please, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notifications so that you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. In this platform, we react to all forms of video. What we do before putting the video, analyze it, and we sit down there to watch it together with you. Then later we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion, but let us always do it constructively in the comment section. Like you can see, this is my t-shirt, this is my merchandise. If you like this,
that while the substance is okay, what is in circulation was clearly not the report submitted to the government. In other words, there were some errors according to him. So it could just have been one of the drafts submitted to the government. But what is important is that the findings have not been challenged, the recommendations have not been challenged, the review of evidence has not been challenged.
But should the government have released the report before asking that committee, or while asking that committee to review the report?
No, the government couldn't have released the report. I think it's the...
Should they have?
No, the government hasn't released the report. No.
But the question should the government have released?
Yeah. No. What happens in a situation like this is that, pursuant to the Tribunal of Inquiry law of Lagos State, a panel was set up, a Judicial Commission of Inquiry. It has concluded its assignment and has submitted a report to the government, including the recommendations. The government will have to study the report and the recommendations and issue a white paper which will contain the directives of the government, the decision of the government in respect of each of the findings. So the government could not have released the report, and the government should not have released the report, because it has to. I mean, a committee has been set up now, and that committee should have been allowed to carry out its assignment. It is after that committee has concluded its own assignment that the government would then release the report and its own position via a white paper.
But many were of the impression, when you release your statement, alongside several other statements that several other people released, they were of the impression that you predicated that statement on the report that was in circulation.
For sure.
Which is now not, which they say is now not the main report that they are.
Well, I mean, you can understand what is being said. I.e., we didn't leak this report, and we have submitted our report to the government for its consideration. But nobody has come out to say that what is in circulation is forged, or that it doesn't represent our recommendations. I think what the young gentleman was saying was that there are certain errors. But he also concluded by saying that, that is our report.
Okay.
What is in circulation reflects our report.
The fear that some people have expressed, prior to now, even prior to the release of the submission of the report and then the subsequent, leakage of the report now, is that, government may not want to tell us the real issues that arose from the event. And, of course, so many people, yourself, the UN, the US, CNN, everyone has been reacting to that same thing. Do you see a situation where the government may have, or the authorities may have, watered down?
No. Frankly speaking, I think whoever released the report, or those who released the report, wanted to ensure, right, that there's no cover-up. That's the whole essence. Because in the past, we have had situations in this country where panels of inquiry sat and the report never saw the light of day. Oh, yes. I remember the Akambig Judicial Panel of Inquiry that investigated killings of students in 1986. Because the federal government could not believe the findings. So simply refused to release the report. But I think the news magazine published the report. There was also an incident under the Abacha junta. Judges were investigated. Many were recommended for dismissal or retirement on grounds of misconduct or corruption. The government did not release the report due to influence by certain forces. Again, I think the news magazine got the report under the Obasanjo regime in the year 2000 and released the report. Then there was, some people felt, oh, this organization should be dealt with under the law. Under the, I don't know which law they were quoting there. And so the magazine came to us as their lawyers. We said, no, you have no cause once you are sure that is the report. I said, yes, we're sure. Nothing will happen to you. And that was it. Based on that leakage, the Obasanjo administration then sent the report to the NJC, for implementation. So you have situations like this, where reports are leaked in order to pressurize the government.
But the challenge
to act on the recommendations.
The challenge here, is why do those cover-ups happen? There are those who feel that such cover-ups are activities at denying justice.
For sure.
And as a result of that, it only makes, it only reduces the trust quotient of government, or of the people in government.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you go back again to Oputa Panel's report, a wonderful exercise all over the country. The government never released the report.
Well, it's
in circulation.
But there are those who say
people have written books on it.
That Oputa panel was because it was the federal government that convened. It was supposed to be the states that would convene the panel.
No. There was a case on it, which some generals, including the current president, General Babangida and I think Abdusalami Abubakar, they didn't want to go to the panel.
Yeah, but that was
so they went to the court. And what the court said was that the federal government, the president, can only set up a commission for inquiry in Abuja. It is the power of the state governors to set up panels of inquiry in the state, which we invoke this time around when some people question the powers of the state government to set up a commission for inquiry. But the panel the Oputa panel was set up in Abuja, not in Lagos or so-called state. And so, the bulk of the evidence was taken in Abuja. But the government simply didn't want to act on the recommendations.
And why? It set up the committee.
No, but cover up, some generals were indicted. The panel recommended that some cases be reopened. For instance, the case of the killings of the late, MK Abiola, the wife, and many others. Government should carry out investigation. Government should change, certain things in the way and manner the country is governed. Of course, the government was not very comfortable. So, government simply,
Okay, now
put the report in the archive. But people publish the report.
Exactly. So now those reports are in public domain.
Yeah, but if you read this report, the report of the Okobe Judicial Commission for Inquiry, you will see areas of cover-up identified by the panel itself.
Granted, sir. But the challenge here is there have been attempts to cover up in the past. And those attempts clearly didn't work.
Because they didn't succeed.
Those reports, those reports eventually saw the light of day.
Yes.
So nothing happened. There were no consequences.
A lot happened. Oh, a lot happened. A lot happened. People know how certain people were killed. Contrary to the story in the media. Others have gone to court. And one of them, we've just got instructions from a family to go to court based on the revelation in the Oputa panel. We say, why? What have you been doing? But it's never too late when you are talking of crimes against humanity. So we are taking steps to go to court. Okay. Others have taken steps. to ensure implementation. I've told you about the Judicial Commission for
the
Inquiry.
reason I'm asking, sir, is if those reports didn't see government, do anything, or government wasn't compelled by those reports to do anything at the state level, at the government level, to ensure that those things do not happen again. What's the assurance we have that these indictments in this report is going to be different?
You see, it's not for the government in a neo-colonial environment like our own to stop impunity. The essence of a report like this is to empower the victims, those who are alive, the human rights community, and those who believe in justice, to ensure that the recommendations are implemented. That's the whole essence of the report. I attended the meeting virtually on Monday. We're going to have a report that will be released very soon in the Gambia regarding the 22 years of egregious human rights abuse in the Gambia under Yahya Jammeh. The report will soon be released. It has not been released, but we are already meeting to see how are we going to prosecute those who are going to be indicted? How are we going to ensure that compensation is paid to the families of those who were killed? For instance, we have to send the Nigerian to the panel, to the TRRC. That's the Truth Reparation, Commission in that country. Because 9 Nigerians were killed among 54 young West African migrants who were going to Europe via the Gambia or North Africa. And Jammeh killed them. 9 of them are Nigerians. I was only able to trace the family of one of them. And so we had to dispatch the brother to go to the Gambia to give evidence. I also handled the cases of 2 journalists who were killed. One was tortured, one was killed by the regime. Okay, we gave evidence. So, and the question of accountability is going on in Africa. In the 80s, in the 70s and 90s, nothing will happen. But today, whoever you are, once you are accused of crimes against humanity, genocidal acts, you are going to be brought to book. Either at the ICC or in a local court, hybrid court. You know what happened to Charles Taylor? He's in jail. He's sentenced to 50 years imprisonment. He thought that would never happen. In the case of Ismail Abre, former president of Chad, killed about 4,000 people. He was to be taken to Europe for trial. A warrant of arrest was issued on him by a magistrate court in Belgium. And African leaders said, no, with what has happened to Charles Taylor, we don't want this to become the normal practice. We're going to do it ourselves. So Senegal was asked by the African Union to amend this criminal code to allow the trial. And the man was tried, sentenced to life imprisonment. He just passed on, I think a few months ago. Now, in the case of Blaise Compaoré, former president of Burkina Faso, the trial has just commenced after 34 years of the brutal killing of Thomas Sankara, the best soldier to govern, a military, a leader to govern any African country. So the trial has just commenced. The point I'm making, therefore, is that there is no room for impunity any longer. If the Lagos State government hadn't set up this inquiry, the young people are so organized. They had already lined up a number of activities to expose those who committed what they regard as crimes against humanity on the 20th of October, 2020. So there is no room for cover-up any longer.
In this report is already subject of so many interests, and it will be the foundation upon which several actions will be taken in the future. But how the white paper approaches it, or whatever the white paper will contain, will be of huge interest. Because at the moment, several people have an impression of what they think should happen already from whichever report that they've seen at the moment. Now, there's been some comment regarding the role of the army. We've heard the CDS speak about some of this when journalists caught up with him. And it comes as if as though, well, he did say the army is a professional army.
For sure.
So,
very professional.
Yes, but if, being hypothetical now, if the white paper, or can the white paper recommend sanctions or something be done about the Nigerian army?
For sure. For sure.
That's a state, because they say that, look, this is not within our own powers, that the federal government is responsible for the police and the army.
No. I mean, we have to understand certain things. One, 28 states out of 36 and the Federal Capital Territory set up judicial commissions of inquiry. Some of them have submitted their reports. Some are writing their reports. Some have not concluded sittings. So what has happened in Lagos is just one out of 28 reports that we're expecting. And these panels of inquiry were set up under the law, under the Tribunal of Inquiry law in each of the states. Whoever is recommended for sanction or prosecution, whether you are a federal public officer or a state public officer or a private individual, you can be prosecuted under the law. By the way, murder or culpable homicide, manslaughter, and so on and so forth are state offenses. So if a federal officer commits murder in Lagos, he's going to be charged before the Lagos High Court. The Federal High Court has no jurisdiction on it. The Federal Attorney General cannot prosecute him because it's a state offense. I think the military officers who were summoned by the panel to appear and defend themselves didn't quite understand that. They were not properly advised to appreciate that this is a commission of inquiry set up under the law, and that we have a duty under the law to give evidence and defend ourselves. I think they thought, oh, we are going to walk away because we cannot be brought to book. The panel, of course, didn't want to waste his time by summoning them and insisting. The panel could have insisted, you have to appear. But the panel didn't just want to waste his time. These guys have given evidence before us. When it now came to hearing the cases against them, the evidence against, they disappeared. And in law, the panel is forced to conclude that you ran away because you have no defense to these allegations. And the panel so found. Yes. Because the panel observed the rules of evidence, gave everybody fair hearing, bent over backward to accommodate those who should have been sent packing, did a thorough job, thorough analysis of the evidence, and arrived at recommendations that tallied with the findings. So it was a thoroughgoing exercise. One of the best reports ever produced by a judicial commission for inquiry in Nigeria.
That's assuming that that report is the valid one.
Yes. No, I'm saying that it's the valid one.
Okay. But
I've spoken to a member or two. It's the valid one.
a good number of people are also saying that in the light of all that has gone on about this, the speculation and everything, some are expecting that the president should make a statement about it.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, the president made a broadcast last year. I mean, in 2020. Based on the information given to him. I'm sure you are aware that 5 times the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has said nobody was killed. The Attorney General said, Mr. Abubakar Malami said that those who appeared in Lekki, were not Nigerian soldiers. People just put on military, uniform to perpetrate atrocities. But now even the military denied ever going there. It was when the young people, these guys are so advanced in digital technology, they took photographs in the night and exposed those when the soldiers were shooting. It was at that stage the military, yes, were there. However, we only shot into the air. And the panel found that even Loma, Lagos State, went there, the police went there to do a clean-up in the night, in the early hours of the morning of 25th, so that there will be no trace. But by the time the panel visited the local scene, the scene of the incident, they were still able to pick some bullets, expired bullets. The military came, denied ever firing leather weapons. Now, how did people die? Because the chief pathologist of the state, Professor John Obafunwa, a renowned expert, internationally recognized, gave evidence to the fact that 99 dead bodies were dumped in the various mortuaries in Lagos State between 19th of October and 24th, 5 days. And that 3 of them were traced to Lekki. That was his own evidence. That's apart from the evidence of the witnesses who said, one of them said, I think Legend, that's the name of the guy, said, they thought I was dead. So I was put in the van with 11 dead bodies. So the panel painstakingly analyzed the evidence of every witness before arriving at his conclusion. So it is difficult. It is difficult to cover up what happened on that day.
What do you think will happen to those government officials who have made those comments now?
They are all going to be sanctioned.
By who?
Anybody who attempted to cover up will be sanctioned. Any organization like those who manage Lekki, what do you call them? That company.
LCC?
Yeah. There are recommendations. Because they disable their system in order to cover up. And the planets of fund. And you can't do that in a civilized society. Because you are serving the public. So you can't disable your CCTV camera in order to hide the monstrosity that took place before you.
But you spoke the other time about, that security.
I'm sure you are aware of the trial of one of the policemen who killed this guy in America, Floyd.
Yeah.
A young girl, I think about 9 or 10, used her phone to record the event. And that was very instrumental in the trial of the police chaps who killed, Floyd. So, unless we organize our system in a way that the life of every citizen or everybody in Nigeria is valued and respected, won't come out of this.
If I could just follow up on that one, do you think that the country or we should consider something, because when those in uniform see any young person recording the activities or anything, they immediately come at you. They, God help, they can brutalize or harass or even maim you in some cases. What should we do about that?
Now, I've read the report, a 309-page report. Very good report. But for me, there are certain lacunae, certain gaps. One of which is who is empowered to deploy troops in Nigeria? The Lagos State government or the Lagos State governor asked the soldiers to come. Yes. The Lagos State government was said to have spoken to the military chiefs. Even when a request is made that we are no longer able to manage the situation in my state, that request must be processed through the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is the only one empowered under section 217 of the Constitution.
He has a final say.
To deploy troops. Yes, final say. So you can't say, Falana called me as the chief of army staff, so troops must move to Lagos. No. That's number one. Number two, under no law in Nigeria, under no law, can soldiers, under no law, can soldiers manage a protest? No law allows it. That's number 2. Number 3. By virtue of Section 94 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended in 2015, and by virtue of Section 83, subsection 4 of the Police Establishment Act 2020, that law came into force in September 2020. During protest, the police shall provide adequate security for the participants in the protest. So if that had happened in October, we would not have had this incident. In other words, if the young people chose 2 venues in Lagos, Lekki and Alausa, if the police had surrounded those 2 places and protected the protester as enjoined by law, the military would have no business coming there because there was no violence in those 2 places.
As a result
Let me finish.
Okay, sir.
Because we're talking about the law. Even in a war situation, under the Geneva Convention Act, Geneva Convention, which has been domesticated by Nigeria since 1961, you do not shoot unarmed civilian, even in a war situation. During hostilities, you don't shoot an unarmed person who is not a soldier.
Even shooting in the
who
air.
is not armed. What shooting in the air? It's not your business
the
to go there at all.
So,
but let's just finish on that.
Okay.
During the shooting exercise, people have been injured. Ambulances turned up, and you turn them away. That is premeditated murder. You want those people to kill them, to die, and that happened in this case. And the panel is so fine. So there's no way any regime in the world can say, oh, because these are federal officers, no, we're not going to sanction them. If you don't,
consequently, sir,
these are materials for the ICC, because the ICC is set up contrary to what many Nigerians feel, including opposition political. Oh, there is somebody has just shot somebody, we are going to the ICC. No. Under the Rome Statute, the ICC will only intervene if a government is unwilling or unable to prosecute those who engage in crimes against humanity, genocide, and aggression. ICC doesn't just go to any country to usurp the functions of the police. If upon the recommendations, or by the time the government issued this white paper, recommendations are made, that certain people will be prosecuted, and they are not prosecuted, of course, that is not the end of the matter. That is what the human rights law regime is saying now. No country, no president can now behave as was the case in the 80s. Oh,
thank you so much for watching this video together with me. Like I said before, if it is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel and you like what I do, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, share this video, leave your comment in the comment section. You are free to criticize, but let us do it always constructively. Remain blessed. I appreciate your massive support and I love and cherish each and every one of you. Until I meet you again in my next video, for now I will say bye-bye.